Yo, what's going on? You're about to go on a trip that you've been saving up for. You're bringing your camera with you and you want to come back with the dopest footage. And I'm sharing 4 cinematic travel video hacks that you can use on any camera so that your video stands out above the rest. And also make sure to stay to the end of the video where I'm gonna give you a link to download the Good to Great guide. And I'm gonna share 5 tips on how to get better footage. So make sure you stick to the end to get that link. All right, let's get into it. All right, what's going on? This is Mike and I'm sharing 4 tips on how to get cinematic travel video footage. So make sure you subscribe to this channel because I talk a lot about filmmaking, film production, content creation. So if you're into that type of stuff, make sure you subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram. I share a lot of tips on there as well. Tip number 1, plan to shoot with editing in mind. I almost always know how I'm gonna edit a video before I even shoot it. At least I have a general idea of what the video is going to look like at the end and how I'm gonna put it together. So when I'm shooting, I know when I'm gonna try and pick up the pace on my edits or when I'm gonna hold on to certain things for a little while. And that dictates how I'm actually going to be shooting. So as I'm actually gathering this footage, I'm mentally jotting down in my mind where in the edit it's gonna be at. Sometimes I even give like a shake to know, okay, I know the shake in the beginning of this clip when I'm looking at it, it won't make it in the final video, but that shake is a cue for me to know, okay, this is during a fast-paced cut sequence. For example, the number 1 thing that I like to plan out are my transitions. I like to do what's called a whip pan. A whip pan is pretty much, I mean, you have your camera and you're just moving it really quickly, or you're just whipping the camera really quickly. And so what I'll do is I'm filming something and then I'll whip pan downwards or to the side, just into nothingness. And what I'll do is the next shot that I know what I want to edit into, I'll whip pan into a shot and hold that. So then when I go into edit, I put those clips together and it makes for a very smooth, awesome transition. And all you gotta do is add some sound effects and you're golden. Tip number 2, shoot in slow motion. Even if your camera shoots slow motion in 720p, just shoot in slow motion. I made an entire video on how to shoot and edit in slow motion. You can check out that video here and it breaks down. It is literally the ultimate guide on how to shoot and edit in slow motion. I try and answer every question that people have about slow motion and I have it in that video. Use those techniques to film in slow motion. Anyway, slow motion is your friend. It gives like a sense of epicness or a sense of adventure when you make a travel video. So pretty much when I'm traveling and I'm shooting, I'm pretty much always shooting in slow motion. My camera settings are set to slow motion where it's 60 frames or 120 frames per second. It's always in slow motion, even if I'm not gonna edit it in slow motion in the sequence. I'll just play it back in real time, but it gives me the option to slow down the clip to play it back in slow motion. The reason why I love slow motion so much is because it smooths out a little bit of the camera shake that you might have if you don't have a gimbal or a slider. But this is the thing, do not overdo it. Try not to make your whole entire travel video all in slow motion. It's gonna get very monotonous and it's gonna be too slow. You gotta break it up with real-time footage as well so you can change up the pacing of the video. Don't overdo it. Tip number 3, film what makes the place unique. So wherever you're going, there's gonna be things you're gonna be like, ah, yes, that feels like that place. San Francisco, you film the buildings and the hills, that feels like San Francisco. This may seem super obvious, but I can't begin to tell you how many times I've went somewhere and I've come back to edit a video and I wish I had more footage of the environment. I don't know why that even happens. I think you visit a place and then you see all these things and you kind of get adapted to it and it becomes, you know, normal to you, so then you don't even capture it. What I always know now, capture more than you think you need to capture. I mean, I'm talking architecture, landscape, plants, patterns, fabric, all of it. Just grab as much as you can that makes that place unique so then you can add it to your video. And what that does is that it brings your audience into that world. Tip number 4, tell a story. This is literally the most important part of making an awesome cinematic travel video is the story. Now, don't get me wrong, I love pretty pictures. Pretty pictures are awesome, but you need to have a story. Take people through a journey. Every good piece of art that's been out there has a story. It's because that is what people connect to with the most. It literally can take your average video into something that gives it that extra Maybe you're excited to go on an adventure, but then you get lost, and then you're kind of scared, but then you find your way back. Or maybe you're so excited to visit a certain place or go somewhere, and then you're running, and then you fall into like a muddy patch of grass, and then you're super embarrassed, and then you're like, okay, should I keep going? But then you know what? You're like, YOLO, I'm just gonna go and have fun. Take us through a journey of, you're enjoying life, and then there's like a nail biting sequence, and then you overcome something. Anyway, you get the point. Just have a story. And that's it. Those are the 4 tips that I have. 1, plan to shoot with editing in mind. 2, shoot in slow motion. 3, film what makes the place unique. 4, tell a story. Now, here, take this. This is the link to download the Good to Great guide. This will help you get better footage. My goal is to help you get better and better at what you love to do, which is filmmaking. I share 5 of my best tips on how to get better footage. So make sure you click that link and download that. It's free. And we like free, right? We like it. So let me know, please let me know if you found this content helpful. Leave me a comment. I want to know if this helps you. You could do all these techniques on any camera, so there is no excuse to make an awesome cinematic travel video. All right, thanks for watching. Deuces.